this is not novice stuff, but what do we got here?
Yeah, for sure. So, well, at least this table we kind of targeted towards the professional market, but a lot of this stuff is used by professionals, but also the backyard, the novice, those who started not knowing much, like myself as well. So we've got our 72Q, we've got a Craig Co rack there at the end, and we've got our 36Q, our audio boxes here, and then your command center.
So the big daddy.
Oh yeah. So you run in a control panel, but you're going to see more this week on how we're bringing this into the 21st century or whatever it is,
Yeah, so this is running the existing one, but look out for 7, or what's the new one?
There's lots of new stuff. No, so 7.0 firmware, and then we've got a new control panel coming called our Gen 2 control panel,
Gen 2.
And then we've got some cool stuff in store for sure this week.
So as a beginner, I don't need this, right?
I would say no. The cool thing, right, though, is that you can upgrade to this. So if you had your R2...
Yeah, you can put your R2 right
exactly,
in there, right?
So then you can, at the time, you get to that point where you're like, I want something like this, you can just install the stuff you've got into there.
Now, from a beginner perspective, would you recommend the audio box if I'm going with Cobra? As a beginner?
So it's hard to say. So there's obviously SMPTE time code for audio synchronization or the audio box. I like the audio box because it's more of a set it and forget it type of thing, right? So as long as you follow the steps, this is going to be just super reliable. It's completely wireless, so you don't have to be tethered. Time code, but then
it's ridiculous simple.
Yeah, but from a cost standpoint, if you're starting out, this is $539, I believe.
Right.
If that money could be better spent on another module, I would go time code. Right, because you're going to get more cues, and then you can always get this later and
How
keep
much
time code.
is the
Time code?
SMPTE upgrade?
Yeah, it's $100.
Oh yeah.
Right, so that's definitely another 18M in cost there. I find some people find time code to be daunting, but it's super simple. As long as you just do your dry runs, then you're set.
So what do you think? I think quick plug versus the onboard terminal.
The way to go.
Definitely the way to go.
Yeah. And we're seeing a shift. I think we're at like 56-60% of our customer base go quick plug, and you're seeing even on a professional side more and more switch over to quick plugs.
Right.
The biggest barrier for professionals was that where they get their match, getting plugs on it, wasn't as commonly done, but we're seeing that change.
Yeah, so quick plugs are becoming more mainstream in terms of like 1.3.
Yep.
E-match.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So I'm a new guy. I've got the money to spend on Cobra. I know it's kind of where I should be in the future. So instead of going with like Ignite or something, I want to invest in Cobra.
Yeah.
What's the first thing I do?
Reach out to us. You're right. Because if you don't know, if you're we get a lot of people, they'll call and we'll have a good hour and a half conversation, right? And just about what do you need? How do you shoot your show? How many positions do you shoot? Right, because then that helps us help you and say, oh, go to a 36, which your cost per cue is lower, or maybe you're shooting multiple positions and an 18 is better, right?
I guess if you're a novice, you're doing probably just your backyard shows to start with.
And typically,
so you're going to be familiar with the positions.
Right, exactly, right? And what we see is, well, even on the kind of smaller scale, people do their cakes or fountains up close, right? And then you have your mortars even a little bit further back. And instead of running scab wire, going with two 18s versus a single 36 is not only going to give you two positions completely independent, right? But if there was a fire, you're losing 36 cues. Right?
Now, would you recommend slats or
Depends.
multiple modules?
I personally go multiple modules. Obviously, there's an added cost to that. Slats are good as long as you know the limitations.
Like you can do a 72M with
418 slats or the 236 slats, which are super handy for like single shot positions with your racks, right? Or if you're doing pre-wiring, then you can wire to the slat, put a shunt on it to terminate the circuit on the slat. But
now by pre-wiring, you mean adding a slat to your rack or something?
Yeah. So
wiring it all up, and then when you just get out there, you set it down. And
exactly. So there's safety precautions that you have to kind of pay attention to. One, some states don't allow transportation. So it depends, like if you're going from your garage to your backyard, that's something different.
I didn't know that.
But if you're going from like your garage to a shoot site, 10 miles down the road, that's a completely different scenario. But if you're using slats, to help protect yourself from electrostatic discharge to the match, in a series slat, you would want to put a shunt on either end when it's not connected to the module. In a parallel slat, you want to put one shunt, and then you need to make sure you remove that shunt before you shoot your show, because it won't fire anything. It'll look like continuity is perfect, but it will not fire a single thing, right? So people do that for like single shot positions. They'll pre-wire. It's just a lot easier to plug it in.
So contact you.
Yeah.
At help@COBRA-Firing-Systems.com,
or you give us a call, right? It's 518-741-4300. Or we have live chat. You can text us now, which I feel like a lot of people are liking.
To add to your, what was it, 30,000?
30,000 a year. Yeah. Give us more, you know.
That's awesome. So, all right. So contact you guys, and then, yeah, I would always recommend, you guys do Black Friday sales.
Yeah, that's a really good time to get in.
That's a big one to get in on, especially for new customers.
Yeah.
Get some good deals. And then definitely come to COBRA-Con.
100%. This is like your crash course. And this year we have more people than we've ever had who just don't have Cobra. Or maybe they tried Ignite and they're like, I need to move to Cobra now because it gives you so much more, right? It gives more flexibility, higher timing accuracy, and obviously you can go up to 3,600 Qs.
It's a lot of Qs, especially for the new guy.
Yeah, right. Just dive on in, right?
Wow, that's awesome, dude. Okay, cool. Appreciate it, Zach.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anything else?
Nope, just stay tuned for what's in store.
Yes.
Yeah.